online options versus the physical options. Page 20. The underachievement was in the number of national days. As I have indicated, there was an issue with regards to the succession matters related to the royal house, to the Zulu king, and hence we were underachieved in that regards. I think there are no other underachievements on that page. Then on page 21, underachievement was achieved in terms of number of statues constructed. There was a delays with regards to the finalization of the King Shaka plinth. Challenges were experienced with the service provider. These have been resolved and the service provider has resumed work. In terms of the next page, page 22, number of entity performance monitoring reports generated, we achieved 4 out of the 5. This was because the Q1 report was not submitted timelessly, and hence we only achieved 4 out of the 5 reports from the Chief Directorate, and hence it was an underachievement. In terms of heritage policies developed, the policy was developed, however, it was not approved by the accounting officer and hence timelessly, and hence it is recorded as an underachievement and will be approved in the current financial year. On page 23, all the targets, all the indicators there were achieved. Hence, there was. I will not deal with that page. Okay, page 25, which is program 3, number of library materials procured. We have procured 11,371 against the 90,000 targeted. The issue of the delayed in the procurement process has been explained in the previous presentation. And going forward, there should not be a delay in the procurement of library materials as the standard operating procedures has been approved and there is a panel, so that should go faster going forward. Number of MOAs with the National Library Services, as explained, the MOA was signed and the monies were transferred. However, some of the deliverables on the MOA were not achieved, and hence the target was recorded as unachieved. In terms of number of new libraries built or modular libraries supported, 4 out of the 12 were built, and hence the target was not achieved. Internet connectivity. As I had indicated, that 3 libraries were not ready in terms of the requirements like infrastructure and furniture, and 11 libraries, it did not materialize with those 11. Hence, we had an achievement of 153 versus 167. Other targets for program 3 were achieved. That then is the conclusion of the non-financials. I thank you, Chairperson. Yes, Chair. Siyabonga, Chairperson.
And give our inputs before we move to our meeting. Bradley, Tuana, you have edits? Yes, okay. Bradley, Tuana. No, so none of the No, I'm just indicating. Okay, what are we doing? One, we are okay. All right, we'll start with Honorable Bradley and then move to Mkwana and then to Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. This mic is so fantastic. The greetings, Honorable MEC, the Acting HOD Departmental Officials. Just a few points of clarity that I need with regards to the hot water report. So the first point, Chair, is that the department spent 120 million, but rollovers requested was 24.6 million was requested for as rollovers. Therefore, the department lost 96 million rand, which could have been used for struggling artists. Is actually a disgrace, Chairperson. Service delivery was compromised due to the department's failure to spend the budget allocated. Chair, with regards to service delivery providers appointed for Winston Churchill, the appointment of contractors to electronic signature system, why did the department not request for these funds to be rolled over? Also, with regards to vehicles that were ordered. Chair. So, Chair, the next point is the compensation was underspent by 49 million due to the premium not granting approval for filling out vacant posts. Apart from mentioning that 48 critical posts does not apply with these posts will cost 1 million rand per year. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. So basically 49 million rand was allocated for vacant posts and only the 48 vacancies were allocated. So 1 million rand per vacant post was budgeted for. It is noted that the department has failed to provide a consolidated asset register due to the technical glitches. Do these glitches apply to all departments or only arts and culture? Under program 1, Chairperson, savings due to COVID since no contract training could be concluded, yet in performance report, this indicator was achieved since 1% of the payroll was spent on training. The next point, Chair, comes as no surprise that service providers appointed for service delivery of magazines is also one of the experienced, so-called experienced booksellers appointed on the panel. Chair, we also want to know that with regards to the fourth quarter, that payment of 7.7 million, close to 7.8 million rand, was rejected by the Taliban because the payment was over 5 million. I want to know whether that 7.7 million was indeed eventually paid to the service provider, and when will the magazines be delivered to each library in the province? Chair, I also want to know whether the booksellers that have been appointed over the 3-year period in the fourth quarter, whether they are experienced booksellers, and if not, will only the experienced booksellers get the majority of the 3-year contract for the supply of library books to the province? Chair, with regards to the 8 modular libraries, sorry, Chair, it's a fourth quarter report, so it's very important that we discuss it. I can see you very frustrated with me when it's with regards to the 8 modular libraries completed, that were supposed to be completed in 2021, are they now operational? Chair, with regards to the internet connectivity, we appointed a new service provider in the last financial year, yet we still have libraries without internet. So I just want to know exactly what is the issue there. Lastly, Chair, with regards to mobile libraries, 4 million rand was spent on 265-seater buses that is parked at the Museum Services Day in Pietermaritzburg. Our beautiful NEC's face is plastered on the buses. So the The reason those buses are not operational is because of structural upgrade that needs to be done to the buses. Now, how many millions will it cost to upgrade those buses so the buses can really serve its intended purposes of going to communities that do not have access to these libraries? We just want to note that. And what was the reason for the buses to be still parked there for the last 7 months? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Secretary,
But you see that is exactly what us our shares we can do. It's just and the practical like issues like the JPC and for what I'm concerned, the department of reported data is a vacancy in the library service, chief director and director. I just wanted to check who's leading the president.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I didn't see relations to and of course, we managed to actually procure and what is the distribution see whether they of course. But the key one is that it's comprehensive. The one is understood. Especially the that procurement of library that is indicated as a result of procurement. I think one of like to understand why should we report to say this is the process of aligning procurement yes, to the excellent why is but also just caution more often we open to the department is not getting an allocation that actually suitable. And we know that when there are budget cuts, it can't be taken. But on the same question, I department the space to stand. I understand in certain aspects that we're beyond the control, especially the to the delay of the merger and taking therefore. But obviously, there are implications that are internal that are as a result of us failing to follow process right and then the under expenditure. But to go again and say the chief department I'm a in allocation in mind, I really stop changing ourselves and it's something that there is no way we can justify saying to the provincial federal or agriculture must really look in terms of the funding in the department, but we are still failing to spend what they make it something that I really there is one change that I must be honest with because the MC is here and it that relates to myself. I don't think we are going to get a support of this community when you continue with the upgrade. You are turning it as an upgrade rather than anything. But when we went to do the oversight there is no upgrade that can be done there. You are actually restarting building. But you are saying here, which is an upgrade. You know, and I really do want to indicate to the department it's going to be very difficult for us to support the NBC in the form that it is until such time that we are taken into confidence as the community as to whether the challenges that resulted in that state in its current form have been resolved. You know, because we are going to sit here and we are going to support the department rebuilding to art center. But the challenges that resulted in the art center becoming dilapidated, being built in an environment that we were told is not suitable because it's waterlogged. That area is waterlogged, even not that. But you are saying you are going to upgrade in the very same waterlogged area. But we must then have confidence in this opportunity to say, no, it's fine, we can go ahead and rebuild. But on the same token, when we had a meeting with some of the community members, they raised challenges around the same area. Have we consulted stakeholders and actually informed them what is the progress that we want to do in terms of the rebuilding, in terms of the upgrades that we want to do. So that we get a buy-in. We have a situation that happened in Kwilu where there were delays because the community was not supporting. And obviously, as a result of no proper consultation having taken place. Now, have we done consultation with the relevant stakeholders around the area of King Tetwayo, especially in the area where the police station is located? So that we do all these things and get a buy-in from the leadership in the area. And know to when we do it in a manner that is going to but equally. So we have a report from our engineers that says this thing is going to hold. Before we can actually agree on saying let's rebuild, we have a report that says so that if something happens, we do not want to make the MC account. So for things that are not as a result, because MC are things here. I know that it's not an issue. So we have a report that we can back ourselves on saying that structure is going to hold 10 years down the line. Because we are the current structure as it is, if you can go there and see and actually prove it, the current structure that is there is falling apart, it's going under. That's what we saw when we went there. Now, can we finish with a geotech report and engineers report, putting themselves on the block to say a structure, if it's built there, it can hold. So that we are then able to confidently say the department, we are fully behind the building of in that particular area. But I don't have to say the upgrade was very important. So where I am sitting on that, I do think you are going to get a difficult currently. We are not getting an assurance from the site in terms of the upgrading of the accent in its current form, in the current application. Because as specifically in Milan, City, it was an area of where the nest started and but in the era of where proper oversight was needed. So we just want to really caution the department, but also just caution the department in terms of, you know, when we are reading the non-financial, most of our we can achieve most of our targets. So I'm sitting there and wondering, why do we set ourselves higher? When we know, you know, you say you're going to achieve 12 of something and you are only able to do 4. And then in the next year, you will still say 12. When you can just say, what we can only afford of this is 4. So that at least we know like 100% instead of 7. That doesn't really reflect when it's not on us. It goes back to sports when they are going to make fun of us and say we are doing this. And we don't like it. So can we really set targets that are achievable? Can we set targets that we know we are going to be able to achieve at the end of financial year? So the next one is clear. What can we see for like? And we call our expenses. The thing of school is under expenditure as a result of us not following the processes.
That's good. I think I must applaud for this time asking questions in the right place. Yeah, so that is why I couldn't stop you, because you are doing the right thing, asking the community so that we all have a full understanding. Because some of the things that you're asking, honestly, are true. We need answers on them. And I think I'm covered. The other thing that on MSC, obviously, that we need to look at international deals to report on the same project all the time. You see, this department, there are 3 things that we will find in the board. Is Oshogolu, Music House, and the Udu. Yet this department is doing a lot, so much, beautiful. I drive and I see beautiful libraries, and most of them are put away now. Yindaba sinai to Luga Levalapa, or Ogunyo Sessions. But I find them at the community, no accountability, or bad all the time. All right, then obviously with the issues of other expenditure, we were not happy. And Isha all the time Isha away the finance. You know, which years again, I hope which there's going to be a change. There are things like the memorandum of understanding, not yet, memorandum of agreement not yet signed. And then you have made a good example of the now I don't know, you made that example because yesterday at a call, you just see when I saw the money, but it's not all the places, otherwise. But I think maybe the chapter will be good from the whatever. Finally, see by and move on with your things. Committee, I really would like members. We must fight for this, and I must say to the committee. You see, when the MSC goes to open a library, when we are supposed to be there, it's not that, because it's misinterpreted, it's like, no, we are going, you do the oversight. So the handing over is not for you. I mean, it doesn't change when it doesn't open. Because if there are things that you cannot oversight, I get you should take a sport. Because we oversight like the mesh, where's something down? So we avoid trouble where in one department there was a function that was supposed to be done and it was never done and the money was used. How to answer that? I was there in that committee at the time when so one of and we don't want that in this department. So that six is everything. Now, before we take it, I say, as the report is against it, and I guess that's a fully like chief person, a full chairperson, there's a little down on the education over somebody and for the influence over. Sisters of us always emphasize if you know farmers, imagine without taking off family, see, there is still could department was the invitation to 1% the right time. Okay, was the best things like it's a kind of very like that. This is one so it's almost a show team. I'm wondering, we among members that asked relevant questions, but the issue of I don't know if it did come the issue of how much was spent on COVID. Thank you. I'm interested on the one. I think you know. We didn't know why, because I did ask that question before. Which is what I thought and then I did get an answer that said I'm getting down. But today you find it how you sell it, such a problem that
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable members. Going to focus my response on two matters. On what the members of other matters will be followed by second matters. The two matters that I'm going to speak to Honorable Chairperson is the issue of the 6 million that was access according to entries. Honorable streams interpretation in terms of the under expenditure on our side. Honorable Chairperson, when we present the budget, we allocate amount of money for each program. And it's not easy just to simply say, because I cannot buy this stuff now, let me go and buy the sanitizer. Because the appropriation of budgets is done in the legislature by the members of the legislature. And what we think we need to prioritize, it's always the priority. The issue of the vacant post to us as the department was we have aspects from all the relevant departments that the vacant posts must be filled and followed all the processes. And those were turned down, and we give in the report that we must sit down as two departments so that we align those vacant posts as per the measure. And we did that. It's a process. It's not like a day or 2 days. I remember when the MEC trader was giving the responses, she was even saying in 2 days she responded. In fact, she did respond and give us a go-ahead. But from the treasury, it goes to OTP. Then OTP turn it down. We reprioritized and we were left with 48 critical vacant posts that we funded. And we keep that budget on our side as a department. And after the intervention of myself going to the plenary after the step down, that's a request after we've sat down and we prioritize again. Only 11 posts were approved by the OTP. The 11 8 out of 48, only 8 were approved. Amongst those posts that were approved is the post of the chief director of service and the director likewise. They only prioritize the OTP, the post of the director, not the chief director. So those are the challenges that we're faced with. And we could not take the amount of money that was budgeted for the vacant posts and reprioritizing for the artists. But we kept on saying we need this vacant post to be budgeted for because they are critical in our understanding. Hence, we are having the issue of the under expenditure that talks to that area. And when we are looking in terms of the alignment of our SCM processes and all the procedures, in terms of the library services, do not have the capacity. Because we do not have the director, we do not have the chief director. Then the person that was also raised here, who is running that one, is the 18 someone that is running libraries. That's the challenge that we are faced with as we speak. Amongst the 8, the process is about to be finalized because we have advertised in February. We are in the process now to fill the post of the director, not the chief director. The chief director is still vacant. And our argument was saying, even if we are aligning the department, you still have libraries. And it's not going to be affected by the merger because there is no function from sport and recreation that is equivalent to libraries, is expected for the libraries. Hence, we could not reprioritize that amount of money for the artist. So I think we are closing this matter honorably seen, as much as we've opened the cases in terms of failing to spend, but now we understand it. Because the appropriation of budget is done by the legislature. We keep on prioritizing for the vacant posts, and there were things that were beyond our powers as a department in order to fill those vacant posts. That's point number one. But as I said, I'm going to respond to my issues. The second issue is the issue of Utu accent, the one that I want to respond to. That's why I was saying in a line, I think give us an opportunity to give a full the report of the engineers on the deputy chief, of which was presented to me. Indeed, I'm not an engineer. The portfolio committee visited Utu accent. Myself visited Utu accent. And I was having the same view like the portfolio committee. There is nothing we can do from this structure. It's dilapidated. There is nothing that we can do. Maybe we need to have a new site or start afresh everything. Then we do have that report of the engineers as the department. Hence, we are saying is the update. Because in terms of the report, they are saying what we are seeing with our naked eyes is not the effects that are touching the internal structures. I'm not an engineer and I don't even aspire to be an engineer. So that report, together with those people that were doing that report, if we are given an opportunity, I'm willing to present it before the portfolio committee so that these questions will be asked from them. And remember, this project started a long time ago in 2010. And when we were trying to say, because when they were presenting the report to me, I didn't take a decision right from them or from their report. I even consulted the Peter in saying, Premier, this is the report that I received from the engineer. And I'm not happy because the amount of money is accumulated. Looking at what was budgeted for in 2010 up to 2018, and the amount of money now that is supposed to be budgeted for that project to be finalized, it's like doubled. Then what must I do in terms of looking at this thing? And they look at the pros and cons and say, if we are moving from this side to another side, you will start afresh getting EIAs that will still going to delay the process of the start that was done, of which it was finalized in terms of the site that you need not to start afresh. But these are the processes that you need to follow in finalizing the project. I even asked the question that you are asking Honorable Deputy Chief in saying, if we could not have this structure as you are presenting to me, are you really willing to put your neck on the block in terms of this that you are presenting to us? and make a commitment in terms of that, they will say it and it's written down. Because those are the questions that I was asking. The question I was asking here, looking at the structure itself, it's not a structure that you can say it needs to be upgraded. It's the structure that is not there. But in terms of what they are saying in the new drawings and everything, they say no. The Newcastle area, most of those sites in Newcastle are waterlogged. And even where the mall is waterlogged. But you are having the structure of the mall, is functional, everything is in place because proper things were done in terms of the mall. So that's what they recommended in terms of what we termed as the upgrade. It's an upgrade because there is something that has already started. There is no other term that will be saying we are starting afresh. There is something that has started. It's about 18 million that was invested in the project from 2010 up to now. And it's 18 million plus another 9 million. It goes to 27 million amount of money that was invested in that project. Then if you calculate that amount of money, it goes up to now to the 80 million to finalize the whole project. But when the project was started, it was about 40 million. So you will see it's doubled. So those were the questions that I was asking the engineers, the geotech and everything. That's why I was saying, give us an opportunity to come with those engineers to make presentation and also ask these questions because I could not own the report of the engineers. I'm not an engineer, but I will not also interfere with the expertise that I do not have. But with my naked eyes, I've seen what the honorable members are saying. And for phase one, I think for phase one that was happening in 2010, all the processes were followed accordingly. The issue started with phase two. That's where the problems are. Because the phase two don't get clearly what happened for the phase two. And that report, even the portfolio committee, I'm told, now the bank at their own investigation. I do not know what was the report and the recommendation in terms of the reports that they received. But the phase two, really, I'm not happy in terms of the phase two. But that's the report that we are having in terms of the two. That's why I'm saying, honorable members, give us an opportunity to come with the reports and make those presentations before you so that we have the same understanding. Not to convince me, because I'm not an engineer and I'm not intended to be an engineer. So those were two areas that I wanted to make my contribution. I think other areas, the technocrats will respond to me. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
No, thank you very much for that explanation. You know, but sometimes when the person has an opportunity to make money off it, they will do so. They will tell us, on this one, we can do 1, 2, 3. Whereas you bring another one says something else. It's always the case with the people of the Abamana, Abet's one. My daughter, to Lapa, you know, we don't have the progress of understanding. Yeah, no, thank you very much. Let's give it up to you, Doc.
Thank you.
By the way, I must say, Doc, you have been quick to learn. I was asking myself to the ones we presented, but you seem to be presenting well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think we would allow Ms. Gola to give some of the clarity and responses on some of the questions that were raised.
The other thing, the other thing that the committee, let me see this corner, some of the things, don't wait for the meeting. Submit the reports. Just submit the reports on things that you know you have done, especially so that by the time we come to the meeting, we know what will happen on the issue. And the honestness that we need. Sometimes when we're in the committee, it's a yes or a no. instead of a long explanation, it won't help us. So that we save ourselves from saying, cannot, this is practical. Same time. Ms. Gordon, I can't see her. If Ezoswagala, okay, if Uzoswagala, then it's fine. She may proceed. Proceed, Ms. Gordon.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. May I confirm if I'm audible?
It's muted. It's muted. Oh,
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. I'd like to confirm if I'm audible. Oh, thank you very much. Greetings, Chair. Honorable MEC, Acting HOD, all the members as well as my other colleagues who are in the meeting. Let me start with there was a question around asset management. I will respond, Chair, as much as I couldn't get it clearly. We are using a system called HardCat. It has been working and has been working properly. I must say that, yes, as a department, we are limited when it comes to staff in asset management. We got support from Provincial Treasury in terms of them providing capacity in terms of human resources.
If you start by saying, if the department will use whatever system, without that system, we're not practically, we're not like, give us your short answers. If ever you think you need to explain more, do it in writing.
Okay, no, I get it.
Yeah, not to say we know the system, so we are using this system. No. That's why sometimes we say a yes or no answer, and then you prepare yourself for any other thing.
Okay.
So that we save ourselves for time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Yes, we do have an asset management system. It's working properly. It's called HardCat. The MEC has already spoken on the issue of vacant posts, the structure, as well as Utungulu Art Center and the vacancies in libraries. Coming to the e-books payment, yes, the payment was made. There was an issue with the bank account that was resolved, that was corrected, and the payment was subsequently made. The modular libraries, 8 of them were completed, but only 4 of them are operational. The ones that are not operational are Mfekai, Makasi, Onibela, Mbembeni, and Kwaketa. Those projects were completed. I think it's the operational matters like staffing that need to be finalized for them to be operational. Status quo of the connectivity, the contractor is on site, the project is progressing well. There has been reports that have been submitted, progress reports of the project. So I can say in terms of the initial or the setup, that is the stage where the project is at. There are libraries, 142, I think, that have been completed in terms of connection. They are finalizing certain matters in terms of the setup. I can say we are now at 70 to 80% in terms of the installation or the startup equipment in all the libraries. So that is where connectivity is. The project is progressing. The equipment for the buses, the department did go out on tender, but there was this Concord decision where everything was put on hold in February. So the tender was put on hold. Now that we got a go-ahead from the provincial treasury in terms of the preferential procurement framework regulations until 2023, the procurement or the tender process will be now resuscitated and proceed after the go-ahead from national treasury. The procurement of library books, it could not happen last year because during the audit, during the course of the financial year or the audit, AG picked up that the process that was used by the department previously was not in line with the procurement processes. So we had to develop a procedure for the procurement of the library books and align it to the supply chain management policies, framework, and regulations. That was finalized during the course of the financial year, and we went out on tender to get the panel during the course of the financial year. The panel was appointed and the panel is in place. Quotations were sourced from the panel. All of this happened during the course of the financial year. I think from Q2 or Q3 until the last quarter of the financial year. But I must say, suppliers have started delivering these books in the current financial year. The issue of Dugu, according to the report from infrastructure and the engineers and the principal agent, Dugu is anticipated to be completed at the end of June. Currently, the project is at 92% in terms of the progress on the ground. They are still adamant that by the end of the June, the project should be completed. Those are the questions I captured, Chair. The other questions, the MEC has responded to them. Thank you very much, Chair.
terms of the books, with the distribution plan, and I would request that you bring that back together with the rest of your report so that you bring something that we are implementing. But everyone is just from the with the one. I'm not sure if Ms. Kola.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And Chair, on the target, fortunately, we will be looking at our APP, we're looking now and strategizing now as one department, looking at our targets around their achievability, the smartness of them.
You're sucking yourself.
We will definitely be doing that, and I am sure that the next time we will not have the target.
Thank you very much. So honorable members, all right, I'm going to protest Nabanga now, as was I writing. Thank you very much. I would wish everything we could go to Amafa. Amafa, thank you. I'm sure there's an apology for that. Let me believe wherever he is, he might be listening, so that your presentation may be as accurate and nice as he always does. And he doesn't have excuses. He just zooms in and then we will do our oversight. We don't invite us to the things that you do. That's the unfortunate part of it. Would like to be part of some presentations, but we'll talk about that. That's good much. Honorable. Okay, no, we don't have to answer that. Thank you. But we do want to say those are some of the questions that we are about. Okay, thank you, Amanda. You do your financials, going to step you and net financials so that we balance it. Thank you.
Just to be on record, firstly, let's apologize for the absence of the head of administration previously committed to an engagement just I'll be talking for the fourth quarter performance reports for financial and non-financial. And here and there I will highlight annual progress report information that I was members want to total report of the new I'll come with in the fourth quarter, reports made the completion of all projects. This is the 2022-23 financial cycle, and to prepare ourselves for 1 and the audit. Just to highlight, so far we look at 3 audits, and we are hoping that in the fourth quarter, we were able to take 206 job opportunities, plus showing our commitment to economic development and with short-term opportunities. And the average number of days that each of these opportunities were. In the fourth quarter, certainly achieved that plan. Quite indicative of that kind of quarter. One indicative of that was I will talk to that later. 5 indications of this during the quarter that the annual target of achieving to see quarter. 7 indications of overachieved by the existing cost allocation and the I mentioned indicated 3.13.3. The unveiling of tests could not be achieved due to logistical and resource constraints. But more so, we were a bit hesitant to undertake this project due to a large number of such projects can reject. But the new unveiling is that with a lot of interest in it, and we do not want to compound on a volatile situation with COVID-19. Decision that was in not doing this project, not incur any losses financially or otherwise, whether it's a labor or 5.4, 5.5 is expected to be positive program. Terms of the fourth quarter for the fourth quarterly report, we did compile one for the month. Oversight meetings will focus for the year, for the quarter. Achieved on this because in an effort to guide our permit application process, establish a new committee which meets at least once a week to assess permits. The heritage assessment applications that come through. In doing so, we will be able to process permits much faster and thus much slower in the that is required. Training interventions too were done for the fact of the quarter and the 2 weeks. As you can see, policies done were probably in the fourth quarter. However, all our policies were addressed in the first quarter. We will achieve the 5 that we Virtual sites formally protected. We achieved in the fourth quarter. We did our target. And this was just more the closure of the project as opposed. Okay, let me just get again.
You don't have to go line by line. Just give us a summary once you have the document.
No problem. Okay, then, in terms of program 2, we're very much okay. We've achieved on a lot of our projects, but we managed to do it in our baseline. Where we did overachieve, we do more by nomination and request to not budgeting properly, not planning our times properly. But the one project that we haven't achieved, as I mentioned earlier, alternative sites, like 6 sites are marked on there, and as I mentioned, it was a management decision. Try to not create large functions and things like that, so that we can minimize the risk of security. And program 4, the one that I would really like to highlight, is research projects that we completed. We done the Agnes College and the Nanda Seminary, and those are looking for those who go towards the 2023 nomination of the provincial landmark and possible landmark. Other than the service delivery side, we work the financial side. As at the end of the fourth quarter, the pre-adjusted year-to-date expenditure was 58 million, or 58.3 million against a budget of 59.5 million. Most of this will be used, most of the areas will be used up post-variant adjustments. There was one commitment that was released, 96,000, but that's not related to underachievement, related to additional work that we need to do. The compensation of employees, we were able to spend 5% of the adjusted budget. If you remember the third quarter, there's a lot of volume done out, and we redirected to what other service-related projects that we really wanted to do. The total volume for the year, out of employees was 10.2 million. This is mainly to fund the vacant posts that we want to do. Services on page 8. The budget has been upwardly revised from 20 million to 27.9 million. During the quarter was 6.5 million. The aggregate spend for the year was 27.2 million. That's what it is, 20.46. Building the fixed structures, the 300,000 that we initially planned at the beginning of the year, we decided not to engage in that project. That was no longer necessary. And that money was done to others, to alleviate other spending pressures. Another machinery and equipment, the volume of 2.5 million was done there. The entire budget up to 3.2 million. On machinery and equipment was 3.15 million. This went more towards the expansion of stock and to try to make our sites more self-sustainable. By installing generators, JoJo tanks, boreholes, so that can not rely solely on at our farm. Page 9, I just want to program expenditure for you. Under administration program 1, spends 22.6 million against a budget of 23 million. The unspent portion was 2.56%, or just under 600,000. Program 2, our budget was 12.5 million, and we spent 12.5 million. The full amount of what we spent, just 33,000. Heritage promotion, program 3, we budgeted for 19.281 million, spent 18.7 million. 542,000 was not spent, and again, as I mentioned, we did not engage in upgrading of sites. That's mainly the best budget that we allocate from. And then under the research and innovation, which is a new program, 4.4 million was budgeted, and it's been just about 1.1 million. Overall, we spent 98.01% of our budget, in just 1.9. Page 10, at the line item level, we did not exceed of our line item budgets or categories of expenditure. Compensation of employees, the annual spend was 27.9 million. The goods and services were 27.2 million. The capital assets was 3.15 million, and then overall was 8 million. Earlier, just 1.9.
Yeah, I have to thank you. All right. Anything more? Are you happy? All right. And I just want to ask you that place, Popular One, belongs to you. There's a place at the shore I once passed. You know the place, Popular One. It belongs to you.
We've done, just to mention just a little bit about Popular Value. One of the heritage site inspections was on a Popular Value.
Yeah.
And within the next 2 years, we wish to compile the management guideline document to the statement for the site, and we will try to get marked and provincial heritage site, formalized and provincial heritage site. I think there's more to it. We will try and see how they have one site national.
All right. Want to go through? I was listening to you in that process. All right. Yeah. I'm just saying that we have to. Sometimes we would like to have a list of your heritage sites. Yeah, just all of them, so that, as you are saying, libraries, we see them all the time. I I take some pictures and say, this is our work. If it is completed, not a full. Any library to English, give a conference to me. Nine library see a kid in your stand. So, Elena has so you can't do it. So, when the Gulabans for us all. Okay, it's all right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. No, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, we tell Dr. Klamuka that we did justice to him.
Yeah, you represented him very well. Yes, sir.
Sorry, just a list of heritage sites. At the end of the KZN Amapa Research Institute Act, but up until 2018, all the heritage sites are listed there. But that's the one that we listed as provisional, right? And as we normally every year we do visit, last year we had 4 visited for the last financial cycle. But that was Marshall's Cross, the Adams College, Ryan Hall, and very much different.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get that next time. Can we? Yeah, can we have a discussion?
Give a statement. I wish you would take that now. You are recording me.
I want to know.
No, sorry. You're not there with that. This is. All right, last item before we come to any other business, which is that one business. Fourth quarter report. Get department, finance, non-financial. Can we adopt? We support.
We don't do that. We will only adopt our own report, like we did with our own third quarter report.
We note that.
Yeah, we know them.
Thank you very much. Can we go to the next item, which is any other business? Birthday. Yeah, and then item number 10, closure. Thank you very much, MSC and the team that you are working with. Thank you, Dr. Ndovo. Thank you, Shafika. Thank you, Amafa team, Umelo and your team, the staff from the MS's office. We are always with you. Thank you very much. You know that you are representing the office. And when you are shouting to people, you come back and tell the embassy. That's your job. Thank you very much, Chief Ukwetu. Ukuthi angifuni ukudabhaka manje sengiphatheka. Oh, kukhona phakathi. Alright. Salon habe kahle. Kukhona angigcine angilondoloze. Sizophinde sibonane futhi ngokuzayo. God bless you.
Thank you, Chair. That's valid.
Yes.
Oh, what's the right end?
Hey, it's a good I buka manje manje. Yazi we have
Lunch is served.